Hello, class 8th. So, we have been studying chapter number 11. Yes, the last time we studied about magnetic force, gravitation. Yes, what is pressure? What is the relation between force and pressure? Yes. Today we are going to study about electrostatic force. Yes, as you can see on the screen, electrostatic force. Okay. So, kids, what is electrostatic force? Yes, what is electrostatic force? First of all, we will study this topic electrostatic force, then we will revise the remaining thing. Okay. So, what is electrostatic force? The force that a charged body exert on another charged body or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Okay, let's try to understand this by a simple example. Take a scale and move the scale through your hair. Yes, take a scale and move the scale through your hair. Okay, and then take some piece of paper, and when piece of paper you will bring near to the scale, then these piece of paper will attach to the scale. Yes, how comes it possible? Yes, because we did not use any magnet. Scale is not a magnet. Then how comes it possible that scale can attract these piece of paper? Actually, kids, what happened then, when you move the hair, when you move the scale through your hair, that time actually the charge which are present in your hair, they comes in they come in into scale, and the charge which are present in scale, they come into air. Yes, so both transfer the charge. Yes, so because of transferring charge, scale become charged. Yes, and we have piece of paper, they are they also have charge. Okay, or maybe piece of paper are in charge. Okay, so when both will come near to each other, they attract and attach to each other. Why? Because the scale got negative charge from our hair, because the scale got the negative charge from our hair, and the piece of paper have positive charge. The piece of paper have positive charge. So positive charge and negative charge attract each other. Yes, that's why, as you can see in the picture, there is a comb. So when you move the comb through your hair, then it gets the charge from your hair. Okay, and it also release the charge into the hair. It gets the charge and release the charge. And when you when you bring the piece of paper near to the comb, then the comb attract them, because comb has charge and also piece of paper have charge. Maybe both have different charge. Okay, when you move the comb through your hair, then the comb become charged, and piece of paper are actually uncharged. So charge and uncharged both attract each other. Okay, because the reason behind it is, there is a force of working, which is called electrostatic force. Yes, which is actually based on charge. When charge attract each other, when the charges when the charges attract each other, it means actually what happening, it means electrostatic force. Due to electrostatic force, piece of paper are attracting towards comb. Okay, so what is electrostatic force? The force that a charged body exerts on another charged or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Yes, the force that a charged body the force that a charged body apply on another charged or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Yes, so what happens, a charge body apply force on another charge body, or a charge body apply on another uncharged body. Okay. But one body should be charged, one body should be always charged, one object should always be charged. So as you can see, when due to electrostatic force is also known as electrical force. Okay, electrostatic force is also known as electrical force. So due to this force, positive charge and positive charge always repel, and positive charge and negative charge always attract. Yes, there are two type of charges. There are two type of charges: positive charge and negative charge. Okay, positive charge and negative charge always attract, but negative charge or positive charge always repel. Yes, the same charge always repel, but different charge, opposite charge always attract. Or you can say like charge always repel, but unlike charge always attract. I hope you understood. And kids, in previous class we studied about gravitational force and magnetic force. Yes. So what is gravitational force, kids? What is gravitational force? Gravitational force is a force that attracts all objects or masses to each other. Yes, gravitational force is a force that attract all the object, okay, or masses to each other. So gravitational force is responsible for making earth revolve around the sun and the moon around the earth. Yes, because of it, earth revolve around the sun and moon revolve around them. Yes, all the planets revolve around the sun because of this force, because all the object apply force on each other. Yes, okay. It means what? All the object attract each other. Okay. Now what is magnetic force? Okay. So magnetic force is also called magnetism. Yes, magnetic force is also called magnetism. So magnetic force is the force of pushing or pulling between two objects, two magnetic poles. Sorry, magnetic force is a force of pushing or pulling between two poles. Okay, so we know that there are two poles have a magnet. Each magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. So magnetism is the force of pushing or pulling. Magnetism is the force of pushing or pulling between magnetic pole. It acts at a distance and cannot be seen. Okay. When like poles means north pole of two magnet or south pole of two magnet. When you bring like poles of the magnet near to each other, then always repulsive force exist. Yes, always repulsive force will work, and due to it the magnet will move away from each other. The magnets will repel each other if the force is great enough. Okay. And when the opposite poles of the magnet are near to each other, means what? South north or north south pole are near to each other, then always attractive force exists. Yes, if the like poles are near to each other, then always repulsive force exists. And when the unlike poles, means opposite poles, are near to each other, then always attractive force exists. So due to it the magnets move towards each other. Yes, if the force is great enough. Okay. And the closer the object, the greater the magnetic force. Yes, if the objects are closer to each other, then magnetic force will be more, and they must be attracted towards the magnet. But magnetic force apply on only certain object like iron, nickel, cobalt. Yes, it does not apply on all the object. Okay. So the closer the object, the magnetic force will be more. Okay. And the magnetic force is always greatest at the poles of magnet. Yes, at the center of the magnet, magnetic force is weaker, but at the pole the magnetic force is always great. Okay. So I hope you understood, and you already know that there are two type of force: contact force and non-contact force. What is contact force? A force which can cause or change in the motion. Yes, a force which can cause the motion of an object by physical contact is called contact force. Yes. So a force which can cause the motion by contact is called contact force. Yes, and non-contact force is a force which can cause also motion, but without physical contact. Okay. And contact force are muscular force and friction, and non-contact force are magnetic, electrostatic, and gravitational. So I hope you understood what is electrostatic force. I hope you understood what is electrostatic force. The force that a charged body apply on another charged or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Okay. So what are the effect of electrostatic force? Um, because of it, it attract the another object. Okay. Now let's see some examples, some more examples of electrostatic force. Let's move on the next point. Okay, kids. So examples of electrostatic force, as you can see on the screen, four examples I have shown. So point number one, I have already explained. When we run a piece of paper with oil in our head with the help of comb, produces electrostatic force. Yes, we have already studied. And now let's see point number two. Example number two. Balloons get attracted. Balloons get attracted to another balloon when one of them are rubbed with air. Okay. So do a work. Take one balloon, and rub the balloon in your head. Okay. Take a inflated balloon and rub the balloon in your hair. Okay. Now bring another balloon. Okay. Okay. Hang the both balloon freely with the help of thread. Okay. Suspend them with the help of thread. And you will notice that they will come to near to each other. Yes, they will attract. Why? Because when you rub the balloon in your hair, it gets charged, and another balloon is uncharged. Which contain positive charges, and the balloon that you rubbed in your hair, which actually contain negative charge. So positive charge and negative charge, opposite charge always attract. So that's why they will come to near to each other. But now let's do another one. Take two balloon and rub both balloon in your hair. Yes, take two balloon and rub both balloon in your hair, and now suspend them. Now hang them with the help of thread freely. Now you will see they will not come to each near to each other. They will not. They will repel each other. They will move away from each other. Why? Because both got the same charge. Yes, both are charged, but both have positive charge or negative charge. That's why they are repelling each other. Yes, because like charges always repel each other. I hope you understood this example. Now example number 3. Point number 3. So when I do iron my silk or cotton clothes and keep it right in front of me, they just cling to my body. Yes. So take actually if you might have done iron on your cotton cloth or silk cloth. Okay. When after doing iron on silk cloth and cotton cloth, if you wear the cloth, then you might have seen that they stick to your body. Yes. Why? Because of rubbing the iron on silk or cotton cloth, they become charged. Yes, your body is also charged. Yes, our body also has charge, positive charge and negative charge. So because our body has negative charge and silk and cotton clothes have positive charge, so they are attract. That's why the cotton cloth and silk cloth attach to your body. That's why they attach to your body, just cling to your body, onto your body. Okay, whenever it happens. Okay, if it did not happen, try again at your home. Okay. Next example, the last example is lightning. Yes, lightning is another example of electrostatic force. Yes, bijli. So lightning is also due to the electrostatic force. The reason behind it is actually lightning happens actually when the charges which are present in the cloud has positive negative charge, and our earth also has positive negative charge. But when the positive charge of the cloud meet with the negative charge of earth, when they will attract, when the positive charge of the cloud, negative charge of the earth, when they will attract each other, then because of them lightning occur. Yes, because of them lightning occur. Well, this is the reason behind the happening the lightning. Okay, so it is also the electrostatic force. Okay, it is also the example of electrostatic force. So I hope you understood these example number one, when we run a piece of paper with the oil in our head with the help of comb, produce electrostatic force, and balloons get attracted to another balloon when one of them are rubbed with air. When I do iron my silk or cotton cloth and keep it right in front of me, then just cling to my body. Okay, lightning is also another example of electrostatic force. I hope you understood. Now let's move on the next point. Okay, so now let's try to understand a new force which is called mechanical force. Okay, force which is applied by machine, it's called mechanical force. Yes, force which is applied by machine is called mechanical force. Okay, well, it is just a simple definition. You know, tractor, car, motorcycle, they work because of this force, mechanical force. Yes, okay, but it's a simple definition. All the machine actually apply the mechanical force. But let's see one more definition. uh, as you can see on the screen. Okay, as you can see on the screen that a mechanical force comes into play when a pull or push comes in physical contact with an object. Yes, a mechanical force comes into play when a pull or push comes in physical contact with an object. Yes. So, when does the mechanical force work? When a push or pull, when a force come in physical contact with another object. Yes, when you are applying the force, when you are applying the force using your hand or using any tool. Okay, when you are applying force using any tool and that tool is in contact with another object. Okay, that force is actually called mechanical force. Okay, a mechanical force comes into play when a pull or push come into physical contact with an object. For example, if you try to open the door, your hands are actually in contact with the door. Yes, you are in physically contact, means direct contact. You are actually with direct contact with the door. So what are you doing? You are pulling. When you are trying to pull using your hand, actually you are physically in contact. So you are applying which force? You are applying mechanical force. Yes. So when you open a door, your hands pushes the door, opening it. When you open a door, your hands pushes the door, opening it. That is actually a mechanical force. And for example, when you drive a car, the steering is in your hand. It means you are applying the force using the steering. That's why the direction of the car is changing. Yes, your both hands are in contact with the steering. That's why physical contact. So that's why the car will move. You can take it around. So it is also a mechanical force. When you apply the brake, that is also a mechanical force. When you try to increase the speed, that is also a mechanical force. You, what are you doing? You are applying a mechanical force. Let's take example. Let's take one more example. Suppose you are riding a bicycle. Okay, you are riding a bicycle. So you are applying the force using your feet. Your feet are actually in contact with pedal. So what are you doing? You are applying force. Because of applying force, the chain is moving. When the chain moves, the bicycle will move. Okay, so what are you doing? Your force are actually applying in physical contact with the pedal. That's why it is actually a mechanical force. Yes, That's why I said that motorcycle, car, bicycle, they all apply mechanical force. They all work on the mechanical force. Okay, so a mechanical force is applied by my machine. Okay, or you can say a mechanical force come into play when a push or pull comes in physical contact with an object. Example, when you open a door, your hands pushes the door opening it. I hope you understood. Now let's move on the next point. Okay, kids, now we will study a different type of force which is called buoyant force, or you can say buoyancy. Buoyant, buoyant force or buoyancy. Then about this force, you will also study in 8th class. Okay, you will study also in 8th class. So, you know, when any person die in the water, if any person die in the water, it comes up again. Yes, or if you take a plastic mug and deep invert it into the water, then it will come back. Why? Actually, the reason behind it is the water apply a force. Yes, the water apply a force upward, in upward, which is actually called buoyant force or buoyancy. Check out the spelling: buoyant, buoyant force, or buoyancy, buoyancy. Yes, because of this force, many things happen. Many things happen. I will mm, tell you. Wait, let's see the definition. First of all, let's see the definition. An upward force in a liquid, yes, that causes an object to float is called buoyant force. Yes, the force which is the upward force which is applied by liquid, the upward force which is applied by liquid is called buoyant force. Okay, because of this force, the ship can float, the boat can float. Yes, because of this force, you know, ship float easily. Why? Because this force is applying, this force is trying to push the boat up. That's why the boat is not going into the water, not the boat is not sinking into water, because this force is pushing up, this force is pushing up the boat. That's why the boat is easily floating. Okay, but it depends upon factor like density of the object, density of fluid, shape of the object. Yes, buoyant force also depend upon these: density of the object, density of fluid, shape of object. You know, why does the nail sink in the water? Why does the nail sink in the water but the ship is very heavy but still float? Why? The reason behind it is density. Yes, the density of the ship is less than in comparison to liquid. Yes, but the density of nail is more than in comparison to liquid. Yes, when the density increase, then the object will sink. When the density decrease, then object will float. Yes, so it depend upon the density. Yes, if the density of the object is more, then the object will sink. Okay, if the density is less, it will float. And it also depend upon the density of fluid. Yes, remember kids, the density of any object, the density of any object always should be less than the density of the fluid or liquid. Remember kids, the density of any object should be less than the density of liquid, then it will float, otherwise it will sink. Yes, and it also depend upon shape of object. Yes, length into breadth into height, volume, it depends upon the volume. If the volume will increase of the object, then it will, the object will float. If the volume increase, then density will decrease, and when the density decrease, when the density decrease, it always float. Okay, if the volume increase, then density decrease, and density decrease, then object will float. I hope you understood what is buoyant force. Buoyant force always apply in fluid, means liquid or gas. So an upward force which causes an object to float. Yes, it is called buoyant force. I hope you understood. Now let's move on the next point. Okay, it's time to ask question from you. Question number one. What is electrostatic force? Give example. So, the force that a charged body exert on another charged or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Yes, the force that a charged body exert on another charged or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Yes, remember, positive and negative charge means opposite charge always attract, and um, same charge means like charge means positive charge or negative charge always repel. For example, balloons get attracted to another balloon when one of them rubbed with air. Yes, if you rub one balloon in your hair, and then if you bring another balloon near to them, then both will attach. Lightning is also another example of electrostatic force. Yes, lightning is also because of electrostatic force. Now question number 2. Define mechanical force. Yes, what is mechanical force? A mechanical force is a force come into play. A mechanical force comes into play when a push or pull come into physical contact with another object. Yes, a mechanical force come into play when a push or pull comes in physical contact with an object. Example, when you open a door, your hands pushes the door, opening it. That is actually the example of mechanical force. Okay. Question number 3. What is buoyant force? Yes. So what is buoyant force? An upward force in a liquid. An upward force in a liquid that causes an object to float is called buoyant force. Okay. Buoyant force depend upon some factor: density of the object, density of the fluid, and shape of the object. I hope you understood. Now we will meet in next class, and in next class we will study about some more topic. Okay, till then, bye bye.